This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last session, we have discussed about the various tags of Visualforce pages and how to design our own customized Visualforce pages by using those tags. We have discussed about the tag hierarchy also. And then we have discussed the various ways to create the Visualforce pages. So now let's digging into the concept now. How can we use each and every tag? What are the various properties are available in each and every tag? Now let's see practically in this case. Like what exactly the page tag, what are the various properties are available, and the section header tag and their properties, form tag, page block tag, page block buttons, button, command link, page block section. Each and every tag we'll see one by one, and then the properties also. What are the various inbuilt properties are available in each and every tag? We'll see practically in this case. Now, so let's start with that form tag, the page tag. Apex page tag. So what is the use of this page tag and what are the various properties are available? When coming to the page tag is used to design a Visualforce page. In order to design a Visualforce page with the required customized user interface. So whatever the user interface that you want, whatever the visual appearance that you want, we can able to implement by using this page tag. So that in order to design your own customized user interface, whatever the page or the form is required, that page we can preserve with the help of is a page tag. But whenever we are going to be using this page tag should be the root tag in the Visualforce page. That means each and every Visualforce page should be starts with the page tag. Every Visualforce page should be starts with the page tag. This is the starting tag or this is the root tag inside the Visualforce page. Now, in this case, as part of this page tag, what are the various of properties are available? What are the various properties are available as part of this page tag? Now let's see. The first property equals to setup property. So now in this setup property, we have to pass a Boolean value. Okay, we have to pass a Boolean value that will be either true or false. Now, if I'm passing true, what will happen? If I'm passing false, what will happen? Then what is this setup property indicates? Now let me explain. So now, whatever the Visualforce page that you are designing, on that Visualforce page, at the left side, if you want to show the setup menu, okay, you know the setup menu. So in that setup menu, in the left side, you will be having 4 menu items, like as administrator menu, build menu, deploy menu, monitor menu. 4 menus are available. So now you want to display the setup menu on your Visualforce page in the left side or not. If you want to display the setup menu in the left side of your Visualforce page, then we have to use setup property equals to true, or else make it as false. Now, so the setup property is used to indicate whether the setup menu should be visible on the Visualforce page or not. If you want, we can specify. Okay, now let me show you the practical. Each and every property will show you the practical. So let me design a Visualforce page. I'm creating a page with the name sample test page. So now the page is not available with the name sample test page. Now I would like to create a new page with this name. So click on this name. So let's go to the editor and then write the code inside this. So this is the default code which has been given by Salesforce. I don't want this default code. I'm removing this. Now when you click on save, now this page is empty. Nothing is there. Now if you want to show, okay, if you want to show the setup menu in the left side, okay, in the left side of your Visualforce page, if you want to show the setup menu, then we can specify the property inside the page tag, specify the property setup. Setup equals to, we can specify either true or false. If you're indicating true, then it will be displaying the setup menu. Nothing but please display the setup menu, okay, on my Visualforce page. Now let's save this. So now whenever I'm indicating this, it is going to display. This is my Visualforce page. This is the empty space. We haven't designed anything as of now. In the left side, it is showing that setup menu over here, like the administrator menu and the build menu, deploy menu, and the monitor. These are the 4 menus. Suppose if you don't want to show the setup menu on this page, then simply we can specify the value as false. Now let's save this. Now it is indicating this is the empty page. Nothing is available in the left side also. We don't have anything. For that one, if you want to show the setup menu on the left side of your Visualforce page, then we have to use this property, setup property. Setup equals to true. Now, next, the second property, sidebar. Sidebar equals to the Boolean. That means true or false. Then what do you mean by this sidebar? You know what is the sidebar? Sidebar is nothing but a component which should be visible in the left side of your Visualforce page, which will represent the recently performed actions, quick actions, and recycle bin option. In order to provide all these 3 options, recently performed actions, quick actions, and then recycle bin option to provide on the Visualforce page in the left side, we are using this sidebar. So if you want to show the sidebar on your Visualforce page, then we can use the property sidebar equals to true. Now, so that instead of displaying this setup menu, I want to show the sidebar. Sidebar equals to, I'm indicating true. So now let's save this one. Now in the left side, you will be having the sidebar. When you go to this left side, you will be having the sidebar is available on your Visualforce page. This is my page space where we can design some user interface, whatever we need. In the left side, you will be having that sidebar option. Suppose if you don't want that sidebar, then we can able to simply specify the value false. Okay, now false. So that sidebar option also has been gone. Nothing sidebar. There is no sidebar is available right now over here. So that if you want to show the sidebar on your Visualforce page or not, we are going to using this sidebar tab. Okay. Now, next, the third property, show header. Show header. That means you want to display the header part or not. You know what is the header part. When coming to your Visualforce page, this is the starting from starting of the browser here, up to this part. Sorry. From starting of the browser to up to this tab bar, up to this tab bar is called as, up to this part is called as header part, header bar. This is the header part. If you want to show the header part on your Visualforce page, then we can specify the show header equals to true, or else we can make it as false. So now as part of this page tag, I'm defining that upon designing my Visualforce page, so now you want to display the header part or not. If you're displaying that header part, then your page will be starting from this part over here. This is the part, your page will be getting started here. Suppose if you don't want this header, your page will be starting from the starting of the browser itself. So now, if I'm indicating that show header equals to false, I don't want to display the header part. When you save this one, the complete space will be getting reserved. Header part also has been gone. No header part. So from the starting of the browser, the whole space is available to you to design your own user interface. Suppose if you want to display the header part, then you can specify show header equals to true, so that we can able to see the header part will be getting visible. That's what here I told you. This is the header part which we can make it visible or invisible. We can make it hide also. Depends upon your application requirement, we can able to make it hide also over here. That possibility is available. Now, next, the fourth property is tab style. Tab style. What is this tab style property? Now let's see practically in this. So now this tab style property is used to indicate which object tab style you want to apply for your Visualforce page. So now for this Visualforce page, which object tab style you want to apply for your page, we can indicate. Now currently for my Visualforce page, the home tab style has been applied. That's what here home tab has been selected. So now this background color has been applied of that home page tab style. For this home page, whatever the tab style is available, the tab style has been applied for my Visualforce page over here. But I don't want to apply the home page tab style. I want to apply the position object tab style. Then how can we apply? So for that one, we can specify the property, okay, tab style. Tab style equals to, I'm indicating the position underscore C. So automatically, position object tab style will be applicable for your Visualforce page. Or else if you want to apply the recruiter object tab style, then you can specify recruiter underscore C. Like that, depends upon your requirement, whatever the object tab style that you want to apply, then you can specify that. The possibilities are available, so that which object tab style that you want to apply, we can decide the possibilities. Next, the fifth property. Suppose, for example, this is my Visualforce page. This is my Visualforce page. I'm representing some information like welcome to Visualforce programming. This is my third Visualforce page designed by using URL path. And then indicate. This page is used to represent the tag properties. Okay, tag properties. This is the content I'm making it visible over here. This is the content. And this last sentence, I want to make it visible in the bold format. I want to make it visible in the bold format. This is the content. Now, so now here in this case, whatever the content is visible on this Visualforce page. In some cases, okay, in some cases, I want to display this entire Visualforce page content in the form of a PDF file. Currently, this is displayed like as a browser. It's displaying like as a browser. But I don't want to display like as a browser. I want to display it should be like as a PDF file. Then how can we represent this Visualforce content in the form of a PDF file? Don't display this content inside my browser. Please display this content in the form of a PDF file. For that one, we have a property. There is a property that is called as render as. Rendering means what? Display. Render as. Okay, display as PDF. In order to represent that, okay, in order to show the Visualforce page content in the form of the PDF format, we are going to using the render as property. Now, in this case, I'm indicating this. I'm specifying the property render as equals to PDF. Once you click on save, whatever the content is available inside your page, the content is getting visible like as a PDF file format. So now whatever the options are available for the PDF, all the options will be getting available. Like as we can able to rotate this page also, we can able to download this page also, we can send it to the printer also, we can perform the zoom in, zoom out. Okay, all these options are available. If you want to rotate this one clockwise direction, then you can rotate. We can display the content in that the clockwise direction also. We can able to make it rotate, like as we can able to make it rotate in the reverse format also. We can make it rotate in that clockwise direction, whatever the way that you depends upon your requirement. Like as the PDF options, everything, all the PDF options will be getting available here also. Suppose if you want to show this content in the form of that normal browser, then simply remove this property, render as equals to PDF. Now save. Then automatically the content will be getting visible in the form of the browser format. Okay. So that here we are using this property called as render as equals to PDF. That means which is used to display the Visual Force page content in the form of a PDF file format. The sixth property, rendered. Rendered property. Rendering means what? Displaying. You want me to display or not? When you go to some most of the programming languages, for controls you will be having a property, visible property. That means you want to display that control or not. Like the similar way, we can decide whether this Visual Force page can be displayed or not. If you want to display this Visual Force page, then we can specify rendered equals to true, or else we can make it as false. That means for that particular user, you want to display this Visual Force page or not. For that reason, we are going to be using this rendered property, which is used to indicate whether this particular page can be displayed or not. Okay, now the next two, content type property. Content type property. So what is the use of this content type property? Content type property is used to indicate, in order to indicate whether this Visual Force page content to be stored inside a Word document or not. So now, previously we have represented that Visual Force page content in the form of PDF file, but now sometimes I want to store this content. Whatever the content that I have written inside my Visual Force page, I want to write this content inside a Word document, a Microsoft Word document. I want to create a Microsoft Word document inside my local system. It has to write whatever the content is available inside my page. That content has to be right inside the Word document. That Word document has to be downloading into my local system automatically. I want to do all this operation in one shot. For that one, we are using a property called as content type. Whatever the content that we have inside your Visual Force page, please display this content in the form of a Word document. That means please write this whole content inside a Word document and then store that Word document into my local system. So for that reason, we are using a property called as content type. Here we can specify application / MS Word $, so the hash, we can specify the file name .doc. Nothing but we can specify. Please collect this Visual Force page content. Please store this content into a file type called as application / MS Word. Nothing but please convert into a Word document. And then what is that Word document? You can specify the file name. With which name you want to create a Word document. So that it will be whatever the name that was given on the spot, on the real time, immediately it will create that file into your local system, and then in that file it will be writing your Visual Force page content, and this file will be downloading into your local system automatically. So now to do this operation, we are using a property called as content type property. Now, so that here I'm indicating this. I'm using a property content type. Content type I'm indicating application / MS Word hash. I'm specifying the file name. Because I'm indicating batch3.t file.doc. I'm indicating that file name as batch3.t file.doc. Now let's save this content. Click on this save. So now automatically it is preparing a Word document with the name batch3.t file. In that file, it will be writing this content. It will be downloading into my local system. Now let's see. It has prepared that file with the name at the bottom. So the file has been downloaded over here. Batch3.t file.doc. Once you click on this file, we can able to see that content also. The Microsoft Word document will be getting visible to me over here. In that Word document, this content has been written. So whatever the content is available inside my Visual Force page, the whole content is going to be writing inside your Word document in one shot through a property called as content type property. Okay. Next, the next property, read only property. Read only equals to. So what do you mean by read only property? Now, so now let me explain where exactly we are using this read only property, okay, inside our Visual Force paper. Now let me explain this property here. Suppose, for example, assume that I'm having an object. So this is my account object, for example. This is my account object. In my account object, I'm having some 1,000 records. 1,000 records. I want to display these records inside my Visual Force page. I would like to have a Visual Force page. In this Visual Force page, I want to display this information in the form of a tabular format. In the form of a tabular format, I want to display this. So that what we can do with the help of this SQL query, we can collect these records, and these records we can able to represent in my Visual Force. So inside your Visual Force page, we can able to display this records information. But in this case, what will happen is Visual Force page is having the capability to display maximum of 1,000 records only. The Visual Force page is having the capability to display maximum of 1,000 records only inside this page. Okay, inside this page, we can able to show maximum of 1,000 records. So now here in this case, Visual Force page is having the capability to display maximum of 1,000 records. Suppose, for example, in my object, okay, I'm having 1,100 records, 11,000 records. Then what we can do? For example, assume that this particular Visual Force object is having some 1,100 records, only 1,100 records. Then what we can do? When you try to get this data, SQL query will fetch up to 50,000 records only, not more than that. So even though the query is collecting the record, but the Visual Force page won't support. Visual Force page is having the capability to display maximum of 1,000 records inside the tabular format data. It will not be having the capacity to display more than 1,000 records. Visual Force page is not having the capability to display more than 1,000 records inside the page in the tabular format. So now what we can do? I'm having some 1,100 records. I'm having some 7,000 records are available. Then what we can do? In this case, if we want to show more number of records inside the Visual Force page up to 10,000, we are using the property called as read-only property. Read-only property will allow you to extend the capability of a Visual Force page to display maximum of 10,000 records. Generally, Visual Force page is having the capability to display only 1,000 records in the page in the tabular format. When you try to display more than 1,000 records, it can't display. It will give the error message to you. So that here, if you want to show more number of records inside that Visual Force page, we are using the help of a property called as read-only property. So the read-only property will be giving the capability to the Visual Force page that it can able to show maximum of 10,000 records. Okay, read-only property equals to true. Whenever I'm going to be giving the read-only property equals to true inside my page tag, then the read-only property will be giving the capability to my Visual First page that it can able to show maximum of 10,000 records. But there is a side effect. So whenever I'm going to be indicating the read-only property equals to true inside my page, on that page you can't perform any DML operation. DML operations will be getting prevented whenever we are making the read-only property equals to true for your page. That means this page is only for read-only, just to display. But this page is not having the capability to perform the DML operation. That means DML operations will be getting prevented on this Visual First page. This is the problem. This is the side effect. Okay, so read-only property is used to expand the number of records to be visible on the Visual First page. Whenever we are going to be displaying the records on the Visual First page, the page can display maximum of 1,000 records. To represent more number of records, we are using that read-only property equals to true, which will display maximum of 10,000 records on your Visual First page. But upon making the read-only property equals to true, the Visual First page will be unable to perform any DML operations on that page. Okay, this is the side effect that we have. Next, the next property over. Next property is action property. Here we can specify the method. Now tell me the syntax is look like as what? Sometime before in configuration, long ago, we have discussed about this kind of
dynamic value.
Where we have used that? Which feature we have used?
Email template.
Right.
Email.
In email template, yes. In email templates, we have used a feature called as midge fields. There we have used that. Visual Force is purely utilizing that midge field format of syntax. Now, so in this case, action property, action equals to the method name. So in this case, you have to specify the method name. Then what is this action property will do basically over here? Action property is used to indicate which method you would like to invoke upon loading the page. Whenever the page is getting loaded, so what method you would like to do? What method you would like to invoke to indicate that we are using this action property. Like when you go to some Java or .NET, the people are using page load events. Page load event. That means whenever the page is getting loaded, if they want to do some settings, if they want to present some default options, they're using the page load event. So like the similar way, upon loading the page, if you want to perform any actions, then we have to write the code inside a method. That method name we can specify in that action property. So action property is used to indicate the name of the method which you would like to invoke upon loading that page itself. Okay, now, so for that one, we are going to be using this property called as action property inside your Visual Force pages. Next. Now, the next properties. We have three more properties over here. Let me explain those properties. Those properties, are separate concepts. Those properties are the separate concept. During that concept, we'll discuss about those properties as well. But now let me give that properties information. So what exactly those properties? And then what is the use of those properties over here? Now, so what exactly that property name and what is the use of these properties? Let me explain practically over here. The property name is standard controller. Standard controller is a property which is used to specify the standard class name which you would like to reference inside your Visual Force page. So that you can specify the standard is subject class name. Now we'll see that concept later. During the controllers concept we'll see. Second one, controller property. This is used to specify the custom controller, nothing but custom class name. Custom class name which you are referencing inside your Visual Force page. Then the next property is extensions. Okay, extensions. Here we can specify the extension controller classes names. Extension class names. In order to indicate the extension class names, we are using this extensions property. These three properties are comes under the controllers concept. There we'll see in detail of each and every property over there. What is the standard controller, custom controller, extension controller? We'll see this concept. These are the various properties are available as part of your Visual Force page inside the page tag. These are the page tag properties. Okay. As of now, we are done with only the page tag properties. So now page tag is used to display a Visual Force page. In order to design a Visual Force page inside your organization, we are using the help of a tag called as page tag, which should be a root tag in the Visual Force page. Each and every Visual Force page code should be starts with the page tag. Inside the page tag, we are having the various properties like a setup property, sidebar, show header, tab style, render as, rendered, content type, read only, action, standard controller, controller extensions. These are few properties which are very, very important, which we are using as part of your page tag. The second, section header tag. Apex section. So what is the use of the section header tag? You know, section header tag basically used to represent the title and the subtitle information. That already told you during that Visual Force pages concept over there. Like whenever if you want to represent the title and the subtitle of your Visual Force page. So now when you click on this, you will be having the page. In this page, to display this title and the subtitle. This is the title part and this is the subtitle part. In order to reserve this space, this is the space over here, up to this part. Okay, this part to this part. In order to reserve this space to display the title and the subtitle of your Visual Force page, we are going to be using the property called as tag called as section header tag. Section header tag should be placed where inside the page tag. Inside the page tag, we have to use the tag called as section header tag, which is used to indicate title and the subtitle information. Now, so let me explain. This tag is used to display the title and the subtitle information. Now, what are the various properties are available? To display this title information, we have a property called as title property. So now to specify the title, nothing but the page title. In order to specify the page title information, we are using this title property. To specify the subtitle, we are using the subtitle property. Subtitle of the page. In order to represent the subtitle of the page, we are going to be using this subtitle property. Then where this subtitle and the title has to be get placed inside that section header tag. This section header tag should be a child component to the page tag. Within the page tag, we have to use this section header. In that one, we can use that both the title property and the subtitle property. Now, let me show you practically in this case. So let's go to my page. Here we can specify. Inside that page tag, I'm removing this the code, default code which we have prepared. Here I'm using this information. I'm going to be using this section header tag. Apex section header. I'm indicating the title. Title equals to I'm indicating position edit, and the subtitle equals to I'm indicating new position. Okay, new position. Like that, we can specify anything whatever you want. So now title equals to position edit, and the subtitle equals to new position. You can give any title, any subtitle, whatever you want for your page. So by using that section header tag, now let's save this. Now it will be representing. Now, so let me specify the section header. Title equals to position edit. Subtitle equals to new position. I'm saving this information. Now, automatically, it is going to be representing the tab style over. So it is indicating the title part and then subtitle part. So here it is indicating the symbol. Where is this symbol is coming from? This symbol is coming from the recruiter object. Because here for this page I have applied the recruiter's object tab style, so that for this particular tab, okay, whenever we are applying the style, it will be having a symbol and a color, so that that symbol is getting visible. These are the recruiter objects, the tab style image. So in this case, whenever if you want to specify the title and the subtitle for your page, we are going to be using this property, the title property and the subtitle property here by using the tag called as section header tag. Okay. Now let me place this. Next. The next tag is the form tag. Apex of form tag. So what is the use of this form tag? Now let me explain. Form tag is used to represent the actual user interface. In order to represent or in order to display the actual user interface controls, we are going to be reserving some space with the help of this form tag. So form tag is used to place the actual input and output controls on your Visual Force page. Now, so for that reason, we are using the help of the form tag. Yeah. So now in this case, whenever we are having a Visual Force page, in a single Visual Force page, we can able to have one or more number of form tags also. A Visual Force page can have one or more number of form tags also inside this. In this case, how can we use this form tag? What are the various properties are available? The first property, ID property. ID property is used to specify the reference name. Generally, ID in the sense for when you go to the record, every record will be having some ID. That ID will be generating by Salesforce. Here, for every component means what? For every control, it may be text box also, it may be page block also, it may be anything for button control also, anything. For every component or for every control, we can allocate one ID. Through that ID, we can able to identify that control on the page uniquely, so that we can refresh only that particular control. Also depends upon your application requirement. So based on your application requirement, we can able to refresh only that particular control itself based on your application requirement as well. That facility is available to you. So now in this case, whenever if you want to, okay, if you want to identify that control uniquely, we are using this property, ID property. Next, we are going to be indicating rendered equals to the Boolean property. You know, because here you want to display this particular form control, nothing but that particular user interface, you want to make it visible to the user app. For that reason, we are going to be using the property, rendered property. Okay. Now these are the two properties are available. So now where we can place this form tag we can able to place inside the page tag. This is the child component to page tag. So that here, along with that section header, we can specify that form tag. We can specify the form tag. Depends upon your application requirement, we can able to place that form tag. Next, the next tag is the page block tag. Apex page block. So what is this page block tag? Page block tag is used to divide this entire Visualforce page space into the various small pieces. Because, for example, I have a page, a normal page. A normal page is available, a paper is available with me. So on that paper, we can design multiple pictures also. We can draw multiple pictures also. If the paper is a very small, we can draw only one picture. If the paper is a very big paper, we can able to draw some two images also, two pictures also we can represent. Like the similar way here also. So now whatever the page that we have, whatever the Visualforce page that we have, I'm dividing this Visualforce page space into the multiple parts. For that one, we are using a tag called as page block tag. So page block tag is used to divide the Visualforce page space into the multiple small pieces. So in each and every page block, we can able to represent some different content, whatever you want. For that reason, in order to display the multiple objects information, in order to display the multiple user interfaces on the single page, we are using the page block tag. So, okay. Let me give the note information. This tag is used to divide the Visualforce page space into the various smaller pieces, so that we can design a separate user interface on each block, nothing but page block, on each page. So now how many page blocks we can have inside a Visualforce page? The Visualforce page can have one or more number of page blocks. So a Visualforce page can have one or more page blocks. In each page block, we can represent the different content with a different format. With the different format, we can able to represent some different content also on each and every page block. But facilities are available. So that page block tag is used to divide the Visualforce page content into the smaller pieces. Now, then what are the various properties are available over? The first property is ID property. This ID property is used to represent. Okay, this ID property is used to give some unique reference name for that component. For this page block, we can use some reference name. We can specify the reference name for this page block. Second one, title property. Title property is used to indicate that page block title. Like for example, when you go to your normal page, this is the starting of that page block. This is the page block property. This part is called as page block part. Okay, up to this. Okay, this part is called as page block part. So here we are having the title. To specify this title, we are going to be using this title property. You can specify the page block title. Page block title. Third one. Third property is used to indicate the render. That means you want to display that particular page block on the Visualforce page or not. In order to display the Visualforce page on the page block on the page or not, we are going to be using this rendered property. Rendered property is used to indicate whether this block should be visible on the page. If you want to make it visible, then we can specify rendered equals to true, or else you can indicate rendered equals to false. So to indicate whether this page block can be visible on the Visual Force page or not, we are using this rendered property. These are the three properties are available. So how can we represent the page block inside your Visual Force page? We can able to now let's see practically in this case. Now, so let's go to the form tag. Inside the form tag, I'm defining this page. I'm defining the page block. I'm indicating the title. I'm indicating the title as account details. I'm indicating ID equals to ACC block. You can give any name over here. Okay, ACC block. Because it's a accounts page block, I'm indicating this. So once you click on save, it is going to be preparing a page block also inside your Visual Force page. So now let's see. A page block has been designed. Account details. What are the title that you are given with the title it is preparing? And I want to add one more. Like when you go to that account record, take any of the account record or your position record also, whatever. Whenever I'm opening this record, it is representing them. This is the account details is one page block over here. This entire record one page block. Contacts another page block. Cases another page block. Opportunities another page block. Like that, multiple page blocks you can able to have. Now here in this case, I'm adding one more page block over here. After this tag, I'm indicating Apex page block. Title equals to contact records. I'm indicating ID equals to contacts. Apex page block. I'm indicating the title opportunity records. ID equals to opti block. Apex page block. Title equals to case records. ID equals to case block. Like that, we can design the multiple. Check line number 15. Now. So now here in this case, so we have prepared the 4 page blocks over here. Account page block, and for the contacts another page block, for opportunity another, for the cases another. So that we have defined the 4 page blocks over here. These are the 4 page blocks. So now account details we can represent over here in this page block. Contact records we can represent in this page block. Opportunity records in this page block. Case records in this page block. Like that, we can able to represent, we can display the different information. Okay, in a single Visual Force page, but dividing that page to the various small parts by using this page blocks. So that here we can represent the content, okay, by dividing the Visual Force page to the various small pieces, that is called as page blocks. Okay. Now let me place this content. Next. And the next two. I'm going to be indicating the next tab. Page block section. Apex page block section. So what is this page block section? In that page block, we can divide that page block space into the various small pieces called as page block sections. Now, So now here in this case, whatever the Visualforce page block that we have, in this page block, I want to display my account records information. Upon displaying this account records, I want to have the various sections like this. In this account records, I would like to have the sections like account information section, address information section, additional information section, description information section. Like that, I would like to define the various sections over here. In order to define each and every section, we are going to be using the page block section tag. Page block section tag is used to divide the page block into the various page block sections. Now, let's see how can we do this one. In order to divide this page block into the various small sections, we are using the page block section tag. Okay. Now, but where we can specify the page block sections, page block section should be placed inside the page block only. This is the starting of the page block. In that page block, we have to specify the page block sections. This is the hierarchy. Okay. Now, in this case, upon defining this page block section, we can indicate what is the title for this page block over page block section. We can indicate that, and then in how many columns you want to arrange. This is one column. This is the second column. Like that, in how many columns you want to arrange these fields, we can decide that. Along with that, for this section, you want the collapsible option or not, we can decide. Now, let me show you for this one. Let me explain the properties. This tag is used to divide the page block into the various smaller pieces called as page block section. In each section, we can represent a set of fields in the required number of columns. Okay. In order to divide this entire page into the various small pieces, we are using page block. The page block we can divide to the various small pieces by using page block section. So page block section should be always a child component to page block. This should be always a child component to page block. That means this will be the child of page block. Nothing but within the page block we can have page block sections. Now, let me explain the properties. The first property is the title property. We can specify the title. What will be the title over here? Title for the section. Next, we can specify columns. Columns equals to, we can specify the integer value. It may be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that, we can specify in how many columns you want to arrange these fields. In how many columns you want me to arrange the fields to indicate that we are going to be using this columns tag, columns property. Now, third one, collapsible property to indicate whether this particular control, nothing but whether this page block section should be having collapsible option or not. To expand and to collapse, we want that option or to indicate that we are going to be using this property called as collapsible property. If you want that collapsible option, we can indicate true or else we can indicate false. The next property is ID. ID property is used to specify the reference name. For this particular page block section, we can give a reference name also over there. And the fifth property is rendered property. Rendered property is used to indicate whether this particular page block section to be get visible on the page block or not. In order to indicate whether this section to be visible or not, we are going to be using this property called as rendered property. These are the
Firoz,
various properties available. Yes.
is it necessary to give the reference name like ID equal to reference name you are giving? So what is the use of it?
That's what I told that here, because if you want to refresh only this particular page like section, then we can able to refresh by using this ID. Like for example, assume that I'm having some hundreds of records are there inside my table. I want to remove one specific record. Then what we can do, we can able to use ID. Based on the ID, we can identify that record uniquely and we can do the operation whatever you want to. Like the similar way, whenever I'm going to performing some operations on my object, so now once operation has been done, I want to refresh. Which part you want to refresh? The whole page you want to refresh? No, don't refresh the whole page. Please refresh only some specific part. So that if you want to refresh that particular part, then we have to use the ID of that particular page part over. The part ID we can use, we can refresh that part. Only that page part only we can refresh. Instead of refreshing the whole page, we are going to be refreshing only that particular part by using this ID. Okay, for that one we are going to be allocating the ID for this particular page block section, so we can refresh only this page block section, not the other section, not the other part of my page. Okay, for that reason we are using reference name. Reference name is used to identify this component. The component means page block section uniquely, so that whenever you need it, you can able to refresh only this section. Instead of refreshing the remaining section, we can refresh only this part. Okay. Now, in this case, how can we use this page block sections? Now, let me show you practically. So now I would like to use this account details as page block. In that one, I would like to add some sections over. I'm removing the remaining 3 page blocks. I don't want this. Inside this page block, I'm adding some sections. Apex page block section. Here I'm giving the title. Title equals to account information. Account information section. I'm indicating the columns. In how many columns you want to arrange the fields inside this section. In order to indicate, I'm indicating the number of columns too. You want the collapsible option or not? Collapsible equals to true. I want the collapsible option also. Now let's see this. Then it will be adding that section inside that page block. Inside my account details, it will be adding one section over here with the specified name. Now for this one, for expanded collapsible option will be getting added over here. Okay. Like the similar way, I'm adding one more section. Apex page block section. Title equals to address information section. And the number of columns equals to 2. And the collapsible equals to 2. I'm adding another section. Address, to place that address fields, I'm adding one more section, address information section. Next. Apex page block section. Title equals to additional information section. I'm indicating the columns equals to some 4 columns, and the collapsible equals to. So one more section we have added, additional information section. Here we can arrange the fields in 4 columns. This is the solution for your page block customization. Whenever we are customizing the page block, there is a limitation that page block customization will allow us to arrange the fields in maximum of 2 columns, not more than that. For that one, the solution is this is the solution. We have to design your own customized Visualforce page. In that one, we have to place the fields in the required number of columns. In the required number of columns, we can able to place those fields also by using this the page block section. In that one, we can specify the columns property. In that columns property, we can indicate in how many columns you want to display this fields. This is the solution for that. Next, I'm adding one more section inside this. Page block section. Title equals to, I'm indicating that information like as contact details section. Contact details. Number of columns equals to 2, and the collapsible equals to next. I'm adding another section. Page block section. I'm indicating the title equals to description information section, and the number of columns equals to 1, collapsible equals to 2. I'm placing this section over here. So inside that page block, we have placed the various sections. This is the way we can able to design the page block and then page block sections. So that here, whenever we are going to be designing the Visualforce page, you should be aware of the tag hierarchy. Hierarchy is very, very important. That's what I told you, okay, in the initial classes itself over here as part of Visualforce. So now tag hierarchy is very, very important. Based on that hierarchy only, we have to use the tags. If you know which tag will be used for which purpose, then that will be very easy to design the Visualforce pages. Nothing else. Simple concept. Concept is very, very simple, very easy. Okay, the tags are also having very simple names, but we should be aware of which tag is for which purpose. Which tag is used to design which part of that page. That is most important. If you know that, remaining concept is very easy over there. So this is how we are designing the page block and the page block sections inside this. We can decide the page block sections also. For each and every section, we can indicate in how many columns you want to arrange the fields also. Whether you want to arrange the fields in 2 columns, or 3 columns, or 4 columns, or 10 columns, that you can decide over here. Now, next one.
Sir?
Let me place this. Yes.
Sir, actually, in the starting, there are some save new, right? For that also, we are having some separate tags you were saying.
Which one?
When you open a record after storing, writing the information, save new, and cancel, there are
Those
options,
are
right?
Those are buttons. We'll place that one. Those are buttons. Now we are coming into the buttons part.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Can we make this page as a default page?
Sorry.
Can we make this Visualforce page as a default page?
Yes, we can able to make a default page for the tab. We can assign to the tab over there. We'll see how to override that existing pages of the tab. We'll see that part.
Okay.
The next one, we have specified the page block section, and now let's see the page block buttons section. Page block buttons. So what is the use of this page block buttons tag? Page block buttons tag is used to reserve some space inside the page block to be used to accommodate all the button controls at one place. In order to place the button controls, we are going to reserving some space with the help of a tag called as page block buttons. So page block buttons tag is used to place your button controls at one place. Instead of placing the button controls in different places, we can able to accommodate all the button controls at one place by using this page block buttons tag. But this should be a child component to that page block. That means this should be right inside the page block only. Now, this tag is used to reserve the space to be used to accommodate all the button controls at one place, and the page to be used to invoke the actions. To be used to invoke the actions. To be used to invoke the actions. But this should be a child component to the page block. Okay, now this should be a child component to the page block. Inside the page block only, we have to use this page block buttons. Now, so what are the various properties? So now we can specify the first property is title property, to specify the title for the buttons section. Title for the buttons section. And then you will be having a property called as a location property. So why? Because is when you go to the button controls, buttons are available in two places. So this is one place, this is second place. But sometimes my client said that here, I don't want to place these buttons in this place. I want only at the bottom place. Sometimes my client said that I don't want these button controls at the bottom place. I don't want this. I want in this place. Sometimes I want the button controls in both the places also. For that one, we are using the property called as location property. We can specify top. That means buttons will be visible only at the top. Second one, bottom. It will be visible only at the bottom. If you want to show at both the places, then we can use both. But the both will be the default option. The both will be the default option. Both will be the default option. And the third property, rendered. Rendered property is used to indicate whether you want to display this button section or not. If you want to display the button section, then we can able to use that property called as rendered property. If you don't want to display the button section, we can able to indicate rendered equals to false. So to indicate whether this button section will be visible on the page or not, we are using this rendered property. Okay. Now. So now let me place this. I'm using this inside the page block. We can write page block sections also first or page block button section also first, whatever the order you want. Page block buttons. I'm indicating. Location equals to both. Location equals to both. I'm not giving the title because title is already there. I want to show that buttons in both the places also. Okay. Next, command button. Command button. Apex command button. So what is the use of this command button tag? Command button tag is used to place a button control on the Visual First page to be used to invoke some actions. In order to perform some operations, in order to invoke some actions, okay, on the input values on your Visual First page, we are using this command button tag. So command button tag is used to place a button control on the page to be used to invoke some actions on the input values. Whatever the input values that are entered on your text box controls, on your Visual First page controls, on those input values, if you want to invoke some actions, then we are using this tag called as command button tag. This tag is used to represent a button control on the page to be get used to invoke the actions on the page based on the input values. Based on the input values, if you want to file some actions, then we are using this command button. So now in this case, what are the various properties? The first property is ID property. ID property is used to identify the reference name. That means to identify the each and every button control. Sometimes I want to identify the button control, and that control I want to make it visible. Sometimes I want to show the button control. Sometimes I want to hide the button control also. For that one, to identify that particular button control only, I would like to use this. Next, second one, value property. Value property is used to specify the caption for the button. Caption means what? You are having some button name, like when you go to the button controls, we have edit, delete, sharing, include, offline, like that. These are the names. So to specify this name, these are called as a caption for the button control. So to give this caption for the button control, we are using a property called as value property. Next one. So the next property is the action property. That means upon click on this button control, it is performing some action, right? Yes. Then what action you want me to perform upon click on this button control also, so that you can specify the method name. Which method you want me to invoke upon click on this button control? Well, click on this button control, which method you want me to invoke over here. So for that one, we are using this action property. Action property is used to indicate the name of the method which you would like to invoke over. Next, the fourth property is render. Rendered property is used to indicate whether this button control will be getting visible on the page or not. In order to show the button control on the page or not, to decide that, we are going to be using this, the rendered property. So this rendered property is used to indicate whether this button control will be visible on the Visualforce page or not. For that reason, we are going to be using this rendered property. Now, the next property is re-render. The next property is re-render. Re-render. That means here you can specify the component reference names. That means which components you want to refresh. That means upon click on this button control, the specified method will be getting executed. Once the method has been getting executed, then which part of that page you want me to refresh? Which part of that page you want me to refresh? You want me to refresh the whole page, or you want me to refresh only some part of that page? If you want me to refresh only that part of that page, then we can specify that the component ID. Okay, that means component ID. That means this is the reference name. We can specify the name of that reference name of that component which you would like to refresh over here as part of your application development. So that after click on that button control, once action method has been getting invoked, then it has to refresh that particular part of the page. To indicate which part of the page has to be get refreshed, we are going to be using this property called as re-render property. Now let's see how can we implement this one. So how can we use this button? How can we use this properties to place the button controls on my Visualforce page? So I would like to place some button controls on my Visualforce page so that we can able to perform some actions on that particular input values also. So let me place some button controls. Inside the page block buttons section, I'm placing this button controls. I'm indicating. I'm placing the button controls. Command button value equals to command button value equals to save in. I'm going to placing that button controls. Command button value equals to delete. Command button value equals to cancel search. Command button value equals to cancel. Like that. We can place the multiple button controls at one place also. On your page block buttons section, we can able to accommodate all the button controls whatever. So now the button controls are getting visible in both the places, on top at the bottom also. Sometimes if you want to place the button controls only at the top, then just specify the location property equals to top. Then buttons will be getting visible only at the top place over here, not at the bottom place. Suppose if you want to place the button controls only at the bottom, then you can specify bottom. Then button will be getting visible only at the bottom place, not at the top. If you want to show it both the places, and then simply we can go with that both. So buttons will be getting visible at both the places also. It depends upon your requirement. And then if you want to add some command links, take command links. Command links and command buttons both are same, but the difference is command button will be having this rectangular format of shape. Command link will be looking like as a hyperlink. Okay. Now, let me place this one. The next one, command link tag. Command link. So what is the use of this tag? This tag is used to place some command links on your Visualforce page so that upon click on that link, we can invoke some actions. But the command link is also having the similar properties like as the command button, but just it is having a different appearance. That's it. It is having some different appearance. This tag is used to place the links, the command links on the page to be used to invoke the actions. Invoke the actions. To be used to invoke the actions. It contains the similar features like command button, but it is having the hyperlink appearance. Hyperlink appearance. Hyperlink appearance. When you go to the properties, you will be having the same properties. Same properties will be available. Like for example, let me place that. I don't want to place this button controls. I would like to place some command links. So in this case here, I'm removing this. I'm going to be commenting this part. How can we comment? I'm indicating. This is the XML style of comment over. This is the commenting style. I will give the commenting style in tomorrow's session as well. So I have commented this code. When you go to the Visualforce, when you go to the Apex programming, you know how to comment that code. Okay, single line comment, multi-line comment. But in Visualforce, the different style is available. This is the XML style of comment. I'm going to be using this command links. Apex command link. Value equals to first. Apex command link. Value equals to previous. Apex command link. Value equals to next. Apex command link. Value equals to last. These are the 4 command links I'm placing over here. But this combined has been nothing but this command, but command links has been like as concatenated. I want to give some break, nothing but some space. In between this each and every command button, command link, I would like to do some space. So I'm indicating that blank space, ampersand NBSP. Ampersand NBSP means it's a new blank space. Okay, NBSP means new blank space. It's a HTML kind of, okay, the HTML code. And then 3 blank spaces I'm indicating. So we can use some space. We can able to display that. We can able to display these command links also. I want to show these command links in the form of a bold format. So that here I'm indicating like as the bolded tag. By bold. So it is indicating over. So we can able to show these command links also. Depends upon your requirement. If you want the buttons or if you want the links. So this will be having a different appearance. Okay, it will be having a different appearance. Command buttons, command links, both are same features, but just the appearance is different. So that's it. This is how we are using the command links inside your Visualforce programming. Let me place this code. So these are the various attacks are available which we are using to design the basic user interfaces. Now, so now as of now we are done with this basic user interface. Here I need to place the fields like this. I want to place these fields inside this. I want to place the fields like this. As of now we are done with the buttons and the button sections and the sections and everything is okay. Now we need to place the fields over here. How to place the fields inside this each and every section we'll see in tomorrow's session. In tomorrow's session we'll see how can we place the fields in each and every section, and then how can we perform some actions on these input values. We'll see in tomorrow's session. But do the practice on this one. This is purely practical concept. It's purely practical concept. So do the practice on each and every property, each and every tag. Okay. So do the practice on this one.
Please upload video today.
Yeah, sure. I will do that one. So I will upload this video, and yesterday's video also I will be uploading by today afternoon itself, so that you can able to access it.
Sir, along with that, please that WhatsApp link also, sir.